Good morning students, welcome back to botany session, and in these videos we are going to discuss the two topics. One is nucleus, another one is structure of chromosomes. Nucleus, it is one of the largest cell organelle present in the cell. It was first reported or observed by Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Leeuwenhoek is the first person to report nucleus or observe nucleus in RBC, red blood corpuscles of salmon fish. But the nucleus was actually discovered by after the inventions of electron microscope by Robert Brown. Robert Brown to discover nucleus in the year 1831. So the nucleus actually it is one of the largest cell organelle. They are present both plant cells and animal cells. In plant cells they are found in the periphery of the cells due to the presence of vacuole. But whereas in animal cells the nucleus is present in the center of the cells because the vacuoles are smaller in size in animal cells. The vacuoles are larger in size in plant cells. That is why in plant cells nucleus are present towards the peripheral regions. Robert Brown observed one of the largest cell organelle present in the cytoplasm of the cells in the year 1831. So they may be different shape also. It may be spherical in shape. It is a spherical or rounded in shape or cuboidal in shape. Cuboidal in shape. It is nothing but a rectangular shape. Cuboidal in shape, or it may be ellipsoid. Ellipsoidal are also called discoid in shape. It's nothing but oval or disc-like structures. So the shape of the nucleus also differ. It may be oval or maybe ellipsoidal or disc-like structures, or maybe cuboidal in shape, or maybe spherical or also rounded in shapes. And if you take the structure of nucleus, it is covered by double membrane-like structures. Outer and the inner membrane. It is outer membrane, then inner membrane. But outer and inner membrane, it not continuously, and here and there are left. This is nothing but nuclear pore. It's not a continuous membrane, and in some regions it is separated due to the presence of nuclear pore is present. There is a space between these two membranes. These are called perinuclear space. Nuclear space. It is an outer membrane. It is an inner membrane. And there is inner membrane. It is a smooth membrane. Why do we call it a smooth membrane? It does not attach with any ribosomes. But whereas in outer membrane, it is a rough membrane due to the presence of ribosomes. That is why it is a rough membrane. Ribosomes, they are always responsible for the production of proteins. So it is outer membrane, is a rough membrane. It also there is a continuation of endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum, it is one of the cell organelle present in the cytoplasm of the cell. It is arises from the outer membrane of the nucleus. It is irregularly arises from the outer membrane of the nucleus. They are running through the cytoplasm from the nucleus towards the cell membrane, endoplasmic reticulum. But the inner membrane, it is a smooth membrane. It is enclosed and filled with a matrix substance is called nucleoplasm. Yes, it is a nucleoplasm. And this nuclear pore and a membrane, these are constituted to form nuclear envelopes. So generally nuclear envelopes is composed of nuclear membrane and the nuclear pores. These are called nuclear envelopes. But the inner membrane, it is enclosed with a matrix substance is called nucleoplasm. The nucleoplasm which contain long coiled thread-like structures, these are called chromatin reticulum. Chromatin reticulum. The chromatin, actually it is a viscose, a gelatinous substance, a jelly-like substance that is present within the nucleoplasm. But it is clearly visible only at the time of cell division. But during interphase, this chromatin reticulum, it is an uncoiled portion, indistinct, not clearly visible. It is occurs during interphase. But after mitotic cell division, during at the time of cell division, these chromatin reticulum are highly condensed to form a rod-like structure is called chromosomes. These are chromosomes. You know how chromosomes are formed? Chromosomes are formed from within the nucleus by repeated divisions of these chromatin reticulum. It's happened during at the time of cell division alone. See, this rod-like structures is called chromosome. Chromosomes are made up of DNA. DNA is nothing but double strand. It was proposed by in 1953 Watson Crick. For their work they were awarded for Nobel Prize also. So 1953 Watson Crick to propose this double helix model of DNA. So chromosomes originated from the endoplasmic reticulum. It is made up of DNA. DNA made up of nucleotides. Nucleotide. The nucleotide is made up of nucleoside plus phosphate. Nucleoside plus phosphate. Nucleoside is composed of nitrogenous base plus sugar plus phosphate to form nucleotide. The nitrogenous bases, we know that it is a 4 type of nitrogenous bases. For example, adenine always pair with thymine, guanine always pair with cytosines. We know that these are the Chargaff rule. According to Erwin Chargaff in 1949, the adenine nitrogenous bases always pair with the thymine. There are 2 hydrogen bonds are present in between the adenine and thymine, and guanine always pair with the cytosine. There are 3 hydrogen bonds are present in between the guanine and cytosines. But here these are called nitrogenous bases attached with the sugar molecule. Then 2 phosphate group. It is a nucleotide. So the nucleotide, it is responsible for to carry the genetic information from one generation to the successive generation. So that is why the nucleus, it is a controlling center of the cell. Similarly, cytosine, sugar, phosphate, sugar, then phosphate groups. So it is a chromatin. See, chromatin approximately identified, there are 2 meters. How can possible these 2 meter of this chromatin reticulum, they are compactly packed or tightly packed within the 23 pairs of chromosome. It is a highly imaginations. 23 pair are also called 46 chromosome. All these 2 meters of thread are highly packed. It is through nucleosome. So what is called nucleosome? It is formed by a repeated unit. This chromatin, it is a viscose, a gelatinous substance. It is made up of DNA, RNA associated with histone and non-histone proteins also present. There are 5 types of histone. Histone 1, histone 2A, histone 2B, histone 3 and histone 4. There are 5 types of histone proteins are present in the chromatins. See, these DNA strands are wrapped around the nucleosomes. So these 2 meters of these strands are actually they wrapped around the nucleosome. How the nucleosomes formed? It's a series of repeated units. These are called nucleosomes. The nucleosomes are wrapped by this DNA strand. These 2 DNA strands are linked by H1 proteins alone. It gets separated. I mean the first of the nucleosomes are with 4 types of histone protein. Histone 2A, histone 2B, histone 3 and histone 4. And similarly, the last portions of the nucleosomes also accompany with these 4 types of histones. Histone 2A, histone 2B, histone 3 and histone 4. So these structures are called nucleosome. So a nucleosome is composed of a core of 8 subunit, a core of 8 histone subunit. That is why these strands, this chromatin reticulum are well packed within the structure of chromosomes. The next, the nuclear envelopes, it is perforated. You know what's called perforate means holes with a minute opening is called nuclear pore. The nuclear pore, it is enclosed or with a circular-like structures. Circular-like structures called annuli. Annuli. If you enlarge here, it is a double membrane. This is the nuclear pore. It is completely surrounded by, enclosed by a circular structure called annuli. Usually annuli is composed of 9 cylinder. 9 cylinder. Center 1, it is a center cylinder 1 and there is a 8 periphery cylinder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 periphery cylinder and only one is a center cylinder. These are called annuli. Annuli. So these annuli and also nuclear pore constituted to form pore complex. Nuclear pore complex. Now, next, how this chromatin reticulum become contents to form a rod-like structures called chromosome. Chromosome become clearly visible during at the time of mitotic cell division. Which type of cell division actually? It's clearly visible mitotic, especially metaphase. Chromosome clearly visible at metaphase stage alone. So what are the functions of this nuclear pore? It allows mRNA and ribosomal subunit in addition to the proteins. Everything are passed in and out of the nucleus. It takes place through a minute pore is called a nuclear pore. Usually mRNA is synthesized within the nucleus. mRNA, these are messenger RNA. They carry the message from the DNA to the actual site of protein synthesis. Which is the actual site of protein synthesis? Ribosome. Ribosome is actually where is located in the cytoplasm. But mRNA is synthesized within the nucleus by the process called transcription. So everything that takes place within the minute opening is called nuclear pore. Next, the chromatin. It is a two type of chromatin. One is a euchromatin, another one is a heterochromatin. Then what is called euchromatin? The word U means true chromatin. Another one is heterochromatin. Then what is called euchromatin? Euchromatin, it is uncoiled portion. The part of the chromosome, eukaryotic chromosome, which is transcribed into mRNA, and uncoiled portion, light stained portion, which contain a gene that are highly active gene. These portions are called euchromatin. For better easy to understand, if a protein synthesis takes place after the completion of two processes. One is transcription, another one is translations. It is a nucleus, contain DNA. The process of formation of mRNA from the DNA by the process called transcriptions. Transcriptions. The mRNA which are translated into different type of protein, or they carry the message. That's why it's called the name messenger RNA. It carry the message from the DNA to the actual site of protein synthesis. Which is the actual site of protein synthesis? Ribosome. Ribosome. So the mRNA carry the information to the actual site of protein synthesis by the process called translations. Translation. After the completion of these two processes, transcription, translation, proteins are synthesized. It depends upon the message given by the DNA. So, for protein synthesis, there are three types of mRNA. RNA is essential. One is mRNA, tRNA, rRNA. These three RNA is essential. So, the euchromatin, the part of the DNA which is uncoiled. These are uncoiled portion. Uncoiled, light stain, and which contain a gene that are highly active genes, which is transcribed into mRNA. These are called euchromatin. It's a light stained portions. And one is called heterochromatin. It is highly condensed or coiled portion. These are the coiled portion is called heterochromatin. It is also heterochromatin. And it is dark stained. They do not take part in the formations of mRNA. I mean the part of the DNA, they do not transcribe into mRNA. Such portions are called heterochromatin portions. So what is the major difference between euchromatin and heterochromatin? Euchromatin is a true chromatin that's helpful in the formations of transcription to mRNA. Heterochromatin, it does not take part in the mRNA formations. Next, in addition to this, there is another, a small spherical body. A small spherical body which is present inside the nucleus. These are called nucleolus. Nucleoli, plural, nucleolus, singular. It is another small spherical body which is membraneless. There is a question, name the membraneless organelle present within the membrane bound organelle. So your answer is actually nucleolus. Nucleolus is a membraneless. It does not enclose any membrane. But nucleus is enclosed by membrane. It is contain a gene that responsible for formations of rRNA, I mean ribosomal RNA. tRNA, it is nothing but transfer RNA. So both rRNA, tRNA that are synthesized within the nucleolus because they contain a gene. But whereas in mRNA, synthesized within the nucleus, not in nucleolus. These are the another major functions of nucleolus. So, what are the functions of this nucleus and the nucleolus? Nucleus, it is a controlling center of the cell. It controls all the activity of the cells, its growth, metabolic activities, development, synthesis, reproductions, and the response to stimuli. Everything are controlled by nucleus. Hence, it is also called brain of the cells. And apart from that, which holding the genetic informations or hereditary information, which is called heredity, transfer of characters from parents to offspring, from one generation to another generation. That is nothing but DNA. So the DNA is present where? Nucleus. So that hold the genetic and also hereditary informations are present within the nucleus. Apart from that, DNA duplication and replication, everything takes place within the nucleus. Duplication nothing but a DNA to make exact carbon copy of itself. These are called duplication or also called replication. That is also takes place within the nucleus. In addition to that, that code for genetic informations, which is code for DNA, that code for genetic information for the synthesis of proteins and enzymes. And apart from that, nucleoli, which contain a gene that responsible for synthesis of rRNA, I mean ribosomal RNA, and tRNA, I mean transfer RNA, which is present in the nucleolus. Next, chromosome. What is called chromosome? I already point out where it is originated. It is originated from the nucleus. So the chromosome was first reported by Strasburger. In the year 1875, he is the first person to report chromosomes. But the term chromosome was introduced by Waldier in the year 1888. But Bridges in the year 1916 is the first person proved that genes are carried on the chromosomes. At the time of gamete formation, chromosomes only gets reduced to half, not in gene. So the genes are located on the chromosome. So chromosomes are the physical carriers of gene. It was proved by Bridges in the year 1960s. And similar for nucleus, chromosomes also made up of a thin coiled thread-like such as is called chromatin. A typical chromosome consists of two symmetrical suches. It's a chromosome, two symmetrical suches. Is called chromatide. Each chromatide that gets duplicated to make exact carbon copy of itself. These are called sister chromatides. If they are identical, these chromatides are identical, they are said to be sister chromatides. But these two chromatides are attached at a certain point is called centromere. The centromere, it is an important part of the chromosomes. So one is a long arm, another one is a short arm. This short arm chromosome, it is also called P arm. The long arm chromosome, it is also called Q arm. So if you take the structure of chromosome, a typical chromosome composed of it is composed of mainly, first one is the constriction portions. Constrictions. There are two types of constriction. One is a primary constriction, another one is secondary constrictions. First part is called constriction. The second, centromere. Third, kinetochore. The fourth one is SAT chromosome. It is also called satellite chromosome. Then fifth one is telomere. So these are the main parts of the chromosome. For better easy to understand, I will draw diagram here. It is a rod-shaped structure of chromosome. Yes. A typical chromosome consists of a narrow zone is called constricted portions. These are the constricted portions. This constricted is nothing but primary constrictions. Primary constrictions. All the constriction other than the primary constriction, these are called secondary constriction. It is secondary constrictions. So the primary constriction, it is consist of centromere, center a knob like such as called centromere, and kinetochore. Each centromere with two kinetochores. These two kinetochores are lined with the chromosome now. It is centromere, then kinetochore. Kinetochore. Then what is called centromere? These two chromatids are joined at a certain point is called centromere. Centromere, it is an important part of the chromosome. If the centromere part of chromosomes gets any damage, they are failure to move towards anaphase. If the chromosomes are failure to move towards anaphase, what will happen? They do not divide. As a result, no new cells are formed. So that is why it is an important part of the chromosome. Centromere is essential. Based on the number of centromere, the chromosome may be monocentric, dicentric, or maybe holocentric or polycentric. It is based on the number of centromere. What do you mean by monocentric? A chromosome with only one centromere, they are said to be monocentric. If the chromosome with two centromere, they are said to be dicentric. Chromosome with more than thrice, they are said to be holocentric. It is also called polycentric. The next, centromere, it is made up of a complex system of protein fiber. It is nothing but kinetochores. See, it is a chromosome centromere. These are called kinetochores. So what do you mean by kinetochore? These are the region of chromosome where the spindle fibers are gets attached. Yes, it's a spindle fibers. The spindle fibers are attached not in the centromere, it is attached in the kinetochore during mitotic cell division. During mitotic cell division, due to the contractions of the spindle fibers, it pulls the chromosomes towards opposite pole or towards opposite sides. So that is why this kinetochores, it is made of a protein, a complex system of protein fiber like structure. The chromatin fibers are attached in the centromere part. So primary constriction over. Primary constriction is nothing but centromere and kinetochore. Next, secondary constriction. All the constriction other than the primary constriction, these are called secondary constriction. Nucleoli develop from the secondary constriction. Just now I point out nucleoli. What is called nucleoli? It is another small spherical body which is present within the nucleus. These are called nucleoli. Such nucleoli develop from this secondary constriction. Hence it is also called nucleolar organizer. Which is called nucleolar organizer, this secondary construction. In a given set of chromosome, only one or two chromosomes have the secondary constructions, not for all the chromosomes. So the secondary construction, they have the gene responsible for the formation of rRNA. I mean ribosomal RNA. There is this ribosomal RNA which is useful for induce the formations of this nucleoli. Hence it is also called nucleolar organizing region. NOR. Nucleolar organizing region. It's very simple. Secondary construction have the gene for rRNA which is induced to the formation of this nucleoli. Hence it is also called nucleolar organizing regions. The next part, SAT chromosome. The chromosome with SAT, they are said to be satellite chromosomes. Yes, what is called SAT chromosome? It is a SAT chromosome. It is nothing but a small knob-like structures or very sharp chromosomal segment. They are differ from the main chromosome. It is a main chromosome. They differ from the main chromosome due to the presence of secondary construction. So, SAT chromosome. A chromosome with SAT, they are said to be satellite chromosomes. The next one is telomere. What is called telomere? Terminal part of the chromosome. Telomere. It is a tip of the chromosome or terminal part of the chromosome is called telomere. The telomere which offer the stability to the chromosomes. The telomere part of the DNA. Already I know that. We know that chromosome, it is made up of chromatin thread or also DNA. Yes, these are called chromatin. So the DNA part or nucleotide part of the telomere, it is highly specialized. They have the specific sequence which is present in the nucleotides of the DNA in the telomere part. What is specific? The nucleotides, it gets repeated sequence. It many times or particular sequence gets repeated. For example, thymine, adenine, guanine. It is a third prime, it is a fifth prime. Thymine gets repeated. Again, guanine gets repeated. So these are the a specific repeated sequence present in the telomere part. So to maintain these specific repeated portions in the telomere, it is very important factor because that is involved to determination of lifespan of the cell and also reproductive part of the cells. The reproductive capacity of the cell, lifespan of the cells, everything are determined by this specific sequence which is present in the telomere part. So the telomere, in addition to that, one of the functions of this telomere, it prevents the chromosomes of one end attached with the another end of another chromosome. It can be prevented by telomere. It is present in the one end of the chromosome. In eukaryotic cell, the telomere contains a metallic ion such as calcium 2 plus ion and magnesium 2 plus ion present in the telomere part. The next, how chromosomes are classified based on their position of centromere and function. These two categories. First one is position of centromere. It may be four types. One is telocentric, acrocentric, then third one is submetacentric, fourth one is metacentric. These are the four types. How chromosomes classified based on the position of centromere. Telocentric, yes, it is a telocentric. Where centromere is located? Centromere is located at the end of the chromosomes. It is a centromere. So what is the shape? It is also rod shape. The next, acrocentric. Centromere located near end, not end, near end. So it is divided into two unequal arms of the chromosome. One is a short arm, another one is a long arm. Already I point out, short arm it is called P arm, and Q arm. Long arm it is also called Q arm. So it is also rod-shaped chromosomes. Both telocentric and acrocentric is a rod-shaped chromosome. Submeta chromosome, centromere located near center, not center, near center. As a result, the chromosome part divided into two unequal portions. So it is L-shaped chromosomes. The centromere located one end, that is a rod-shaped telocentric. Near end, it is also rod-shaped acrocentric. Near center, it is L-shaped, also submeta. Center divided into two equal portions, that is called metacentric. Is nothing but V-shaped chromosomes. V-shaped. So these are the positions of centromere: telocentric, acrocentric, submetacentric, metacentric. Telocentric, acrocentric is a rod-shaped, submeta L-shaped, metacentric is a V-shaped chromosomes. Next, how chromosomes are classified based on the functions. Based on their function. There are two types. One is autosome. Another one is allosome. The autosome, it is also called somatic chromosome. Somatic chromosome. Allosome, it is also called sex chromosomes. Now, what is called autosome? It is present in all the cells of the organism. They are involved in the determination of somatic characters. Hence, it is also called somatic chromosome or also called autosome. In human diploid cell, 44 chromosomes are autosomes. Among the 46 chromosomes, 44 chromosomes are autosomes. They are involved in the determination of somatic characters. Whereas remaining the two chromosomes, these are called sex chromosomes. One pair or two chromosomes are called sex chromosomes. Then why do we get the sex chromosome? Because these chromosomes are differ from the autosomes in their morphological structure and behaviors. So they are called involved in the determination of sex, whether male or female is determined by these two chromosomes. Hence they are called allosomes or also called sex chromosomes. For example, male has XY chromosomes, female has XX chromosome. These are the two sex chromosomes. I mean 23rd pair of the chromosome is sex chromosome in human being. In male, it is a heterogametic. There are two types of gametes are possible. For the first gamete is what? X. Another one is Y. Next, in X cells female, there is a homogamety. Only one X cells are formed. So how the male female is determined, whether male or female is determined by male gamete or female gamete, male gamete. How? The male has XY chromosomes. If sperm, these are the two sperm, if the sperm carry X chromosome fused with the X cells, all X cells always X, it is a homogamety. So the offsprings are XS. You know what the offspring say? Female. If suppose, if the sperm carry Y chromosome, they are fused with the X cells, the offsprings XY. The XY is nothing but male. So the offsprings male or female is determined by male only, not for female, because male is a heterogametic. There are two different gametes are formed, X and Y chromosome over sex chromosome. There are special type of chromosome. The special type, why do we call this a special type? They differ from the normal chromosome in their morphological structure and basic structure. They differ from the normal chromosomes of morphological structure functionally, morphologically, differ from the normal chromosomes, and it is present in certain special tissue, not in the all the tissue. Hence, it is also called a special type of chromosome. This special type of chromosome, it is two types. One is polytene chromosome. Another one is Lambrus chromosome. The polytene chromosome was first observed by E.G. Balbiani in the year 1881. Observed in Drosophila melanogaster, fruit fly, Drosophila melanogaster. Remember, polytene chromosome were first observed by E.G. Balbiani in the year 1881 in the salivary glands of Drosophila melanogaster. It's nothing but fruit fly, Palapuchi, salivary glands. So, what are the characteristic features of these chromosomes actually? Along the throughout the length of the chromosome, there is a dark band alternate with a clear band is called interband. It's nothing but chromonimeta. It is a dark band. Along the through the length of the chromosome, there are two types of bands are present. It is a dark band. It is a light band or alternate with the interband. Light band is nothing but interband. And it has extremely large puff-like structures. It is nothing but chromosomal puff. It is also called Balbiani ring because it was first discovered by Balbiani. Hence, it is also called Balbiani ring. These regions are the extensive RNA synthesis, responsible for RNA synthesis. This Balbiani ring. The next, there are 95% of DNA present in the band regions. I mean dark band. Remaining 5% of DNA present in the interband. But the band, these are responsible for gene expression and transcription of genes, synthesis of proteins, everything takes place in the band regions. These are the giant chromosome are larger in size, hence it is also called gigantic chromosomes. It is first observed by E.G. Balbiani in 1881. These are called polytene chromosomes. The next, Lambrus chromosomes. Second one is Lambrus chromosomes. It was first observed by Fleming in 1882 in the oocytes of salamander animal. You know what's called salamander? It is a first land invader, like frog-like structures. These are called salamander. In the eggs, that's oocytes. Fleming observed oocytes of salamander animals. In addition to that, a large nucleus of unicellular algae is called Acetabularia. Large nucleus of Acetabularia observed by Fleming, and it looks like a brush-like structures. Hence, it is also called lamb-brush chromosomes. And what are the characteristics of these chromosomes? In addition, it is clearly visible during diploid stage. Diploid stage of prophase 1 of meiosis 1. Meiosis 1. These chromosomes are clearly visible in the diploid stages of prophase 1 of meiosis 1. If you take the characteristic features of this chromosome, these are highly condensed to form a rod-like structures is called chromosomal axis. Chromosomal axis, from which lateral loop of DNA is extended. From the chromosomal axis, lateral loop of DNA is extended. As a result, intensive RNA synthesis takes place. Lateral loop of DNA, it is chromosomal axis. As a result of intensive RNA synthesis takes place here. These are the lamb-brush chromosome observed by Fleming in their 1882 in the oocytes of salamander animal. Certain unicellular is called Acerta bulgaria. Thank you.